So I want you to imagine this. The year's coming to an end, you're winding down, everything just feels good, but there's a problem. You're eating the same thing that you've eaten every single year your entire life. Not anymore. Welcome to my ideal holiday feast. Ready for a Christmas story, children? Yes! Oh my God. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Oven was preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Make the tangs on in a small saucepan. Remove and let cool slightly. Brush the buns with egg. Bake for about 15 minutes. In a heat-proof bowl, the warmed milk. Stir in the yeast. The end.
That was beautiful, man.
Now, if you have children, or you're a child, or you act like a child, it's the holiday season. The perfect buy. And 50% off on Amazon. The link's in the description. Happy holidays. Welcome back to another episode of That's not what this is at all. One thing I do want to say, because I feel like I haven't had a one-on-one with you in a while. The year's coming to an end. I feel so many new things coming, and I just wanted to share with you that we're developing a ton of new ideas that we've never done before, because we're very focused on making new things that you guys are gonna love. So thank you, we love you. We hope you have an amazing holiday season filled with hopefully good food. Let's face it, we like consistency. We're very habitual creatures. We do the same thing to make things easier. That doesn't need to apply to everything, like the meal that you have on Christmas. Funny enough, I also do that. But my meals are at least exciting. This is one feast I could consistently do for years and years and years. So with all that being said, let's make this, shall we?
Listen, you're asking for more recipe-based content, you're gonna get it. Pull your pants up, buckle them extra tight. We've got a 48-hour truffle short rib beef Wellington. Good Lord. Smoked non-prick pow prime rib, Sichuan honey rolls, a potato dish that's finally something different, and several other goodies that'll have you saying mommy in no time. Oh, and don't forget we did holiday cookies too. Now, let's begin. If you're gonna make any of these things, please make the short rib Wellington and forget all your troubles. FYI, you have to start this 3 whole days before you can eat it. Wait, Josh, I thought you said 48 hours. Well, hold your horses, buddy. First, you're gonna need about a 5 to 6 pound bone-in short rib plate. Season that bad boy with salt and pepper, vacuum seal it in your largest vac bag. Obviously, prior to sealing this, you can totally sear it, and well, I didn't here, but to be honest, it wouldn't hurt. You can also braise it if you don't have a sous vide. Anyway, once it's sealed, drop it into a sous vide bath set to 69 degrees Fahrenheit, nice, for 48 hours. Obviously, try to time this in a way that you'll be around once that 48-hour timer gets ding-a-ling. Now remove that hot boy from the water bath, place it on a sheet tray, place another sheet tray on top, and weigh it down with something like a can of beans or whatever will flatten it out, about 15 to 20 pounds of pressure. Now make sure that that is flat and refrigerate overnight. Now, a day before cooking, we start the chocolate chip cookies from my cookbook, which yes, I'll give them to you for free here because I love you. But you should get the book. It's a #1 New York Times bestseller. Link's in the description. Now, very simple. Medium-sized bowl, add 3/4 of a cup or 160 grams of light brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup or 150 grams of white sugar, 1.5 teaspoons or 9 grams of salt. Whisk that together, then whisk 3/4 of a cup or 168 grams of melted unsalted butter, then whisk in 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk, followed by 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon or 2 grams of baking soda. Once smooth and homogeneous, stir in 1 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon or 197 grams of all-purpose flour. Mix until you get a smooth dough, and please resist the urge to give the Gok Gok 3000 to your cookie spoon and add 8 ounces or 225 grams of rough chopped chocolate, ideally around 60 to 70% cacao if you like dark chocolate. Fold together gently, cover with plastic wrap, and refrigerate overnight. Now for the next cookie, there's a bit of a story. After much verbal abuse towards snickerdoodles from me and a few others in our Discord, which the link for that is in the description, I decided to make amends, specifically to Kendrick, by making only the finest of snick and doodle. Medium-sized mixing bowl. 1 cup or 227 grams of unsalted butter as softened as humanly possible, without being melted. Cream that together using an electric handheld mixer with 1.5 cups or 315 grams of granulated sugar until light and fluffy. Then beat in 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk, followed by 2.5 teaspoons or 12 grams of vanilla extract. Now, in a separate bowl, add 2.5 cups or 375 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 1/4 teaspoon or 6 grams of fine sea salt, not kosher salt, not rock salt, fine sea salt, please. 1.5 teaspoons or 2 grams of cream of tartar, 1/2 teaspoon or 1/2 gram of baking soda. Whisk that together till combined, and then add your dry mixture to your wet and fold together until you have a smooth, beautiful, luxurious dough. Again, no gok-gocking your cookie spoon. Cover with plastic wrap and chill for at least 20 minutes or overnight. Now at this point in time, you're already here, so you might as well mix together your cinnamon sugar ahead of time so it's ready when you need it, which is literally just 1/4 cup or 55 grams of granulated sugar and 1 tablespoon or 10 grams of ground cinnamon. Whisk together until evenly combined, and that's exactly what you're gonna roll your balls in. Your sugar cookie balls, I mean. Now what else could we do the night before? Well, if you're making these ultra crunchy patatas bravas, Then please do yourself a favor and toss 3 to 4 pounds of russet potatoes in an oven set to 450 Fahrenheit for 1 hour or just until soft and easily pricked with a fork. Then let those chill completely in the fridge overnight. Now on the day of cookery, take your ribs out of the bag, split them into 2 lengthwise, and carefully slice them off the bone, staying as close to the bone as possible. Cut those into 2.5 inch wide by 5 to 6 inch long logs. Think, sort of mini tenderloins. And listen, since we were running out of light, I skipped searing them, which had surprisingly good results, but I'd recommend maybe searing this very quickly on all sides. Now brush those bad boys all over with hot mustard, season with some additional salt to taste, and let that rest. Look, if you've ever seen beef Wellington, then you've seen a duxelle. It's very simple. 6 ounces or 168 grams of brown button mushrooms, rough chopped, and 2 ounces or 56 grams of fresh shiitake mushrooms, rough chopped as well. Pop those in a food processor and pulse until fine but not a paste. Then get a medium-sized saucepan, add 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of unsalted butter, set to medium heat, and once melted in, add in 1 finely chopped shallot, season that lightly with salt, and saute till softened, which is about 3 minutes. Add your mushrooms, season with salt, toss in 1 to 2 sprigs of rosemary, and cook that down for 5 to 6 minutes. Now look, I know you're probably thinking, God, this kind of smells metallic and weird, Josh. Let it keep cooking, and all of a sudden, oh, those mushrooms kind of smell good. Now once most of the water is evaporated, add a 1/4 cup of dry sherry wine, and cook that down until no liquid remains, stirring occasionally. Remove your sprig of rosemary. Now cut the heat completely off and stir in 1 tablespoon or 18 grams of white miso and 1 whole ounce or 28 grams of finely grated black truffle. Oh, and of course, 2 cloves of very finely chopped garlic. Stir that all together, and your duxelle is done. Now for the crepe. Yes, traditional beef Wellington can contain a crepe from time to time, and well, I think it's the best with it. Mix together 3 whole eggs and 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of unsalted butter, 1.5 cups or 360 grams of whole milk, 1 teaspoon or 6 grams of fine sea salt, 1 cup or 150 grams of all-purpose flour. Whisk until you get a smooth batter, then get a 12-inch nonstick skillet, grease lightly with cooking spray, set over medium heat, and once that's hot, so hot, ladle in about a 1/3 cup of your batter and swirl it around the pan so it coats in 1 single thin layer. Remember, the thinner these are, the better. Reduce or increase the amount of batter to get to that point. Let that cook for about 30 to 45 seconds, flip and cook for 25 to 30 more seconds. Done. Repeat that until you have 5 beautiful crepes, because I know you're gonna fuck up a few of these, and it's totally fine. Papa still kiss you. Now we assemble. First, a nice layer of plastic wrap. This is actually 2 sheets placed slightly overlapping each other, so it's nice and wide. Now, crepe down. Then 3 to 5 slices of good prosciutto shingled together nicely. Spread a 1/4 of your duxelle edge to edge, nice and flat. Now look, the goal is once this is wrapped, it should perfectly enrobe your meat, around the entire perimeter. And you know how I feel about perfectly enrobing my meat. I take it seriously. Place a portion short rib at the bottom of the crepe. Roll that all the way up, letting your plastic wrap do its thing. Roll the edges tightly so it's nice and taut. Repeat with all your meat and refrigerate while you make all your other stuff. Next, prime rib. Start with a medium-sized bowl, add 1/2 cup or 80 grams of softened beef tallow and a 1/4 cup or 50 grams of Dijon mustard. Beat together till combined, then add 5 cloves of finely chopped garlic, 2 teaspoons or 4 grams of fresh cracked pepper, 1 tablespoon or 5 grams of finely chopped rosemary, 1.5 tablespoons or 15 grams of kosher salt, 3 tablespoons or 38 grams of non-prick pow. I mean, I'm telling you, there's something special about that ingredient. Whip all that together, and then finally, beat in 1 tablespoon or 19 grams of dark soy sauce. Once that's combined, rub that all over a 6 to 8 pound prime rib roast. This bad boy is boneless, but you could totally do bone in. I'm not judging you. Pop that bad boy into a smoker set to 225 Fahrenheit for 4 hours, or until internal temperature registers 128 Fahrenheit. Obviously, you could do that in a low oven if you don't have a smoker, just as a heads up. Now, while that is cooking, we must move and complete the rest of our tasks. First, Sichuan honey garlic rolls. First, in the bowl of a stand mixer, combine 4 cups or 600 grams of all-purpose flour, a 1/3 cup or 75 grams of granulated sugar. Josh, that's so much sugar. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's a holiday meal. What do you want, a diet? 2 teaspoons or 12 grams of fine sea salt. Whisk till combined. Then in a separate container, add 1 cup or 240 grams of water and a 1/4 cup or 59 grams of whole milk. Heat to 95 Fahrenheit and whisk in 2.5 teaspoons or 10 grams of instant yeast till dissolved, followed by 1 large egg. Beat till homogeneous. Turn on your stand mixer with the dough spiral thing attached. Begin mixing on medium-low. Add your big watery milky boy to the bowl and mix until you get a rough dough. You can always add a little extra water if your dough looks too dry. Now mix for 3 minutes, then add 1/2 cup or 112 grams of softened unsalted butter, about 3 tablespoons at a time until all of it's been added. If your butter's not softened, by the way, this is gonna be a terrible time for you, so just remember that. Now once you have a smooth dough, roll it into a rough ball, cover with plastic wrap, and rise for 1 hour at room temperature. When you're ready, punch all the love and life you worked so hard to breathe into your dough. Divide into specifically 69-gram pieces. Are you noticing a trend here? Now that should get you a minimum of 15 pieces. Roll all pieces into doit balls and place in a 12-inch cast iron skillet that's been generously greased. There is a certain finesse to fitting these in here, so just try to work it around so that they're evenly spaced like this. It's okay if they're not perfect, they're still gonna be delicious. Now cover with greased plastic wrap and proof at room temperature for 1 hour. Then brush those bad boys with with egg wash, which is just 1 egg beaten together with 1 teaspoon of water till homogeneous, and bake at 350 Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes or until beautifully brown, and the internal temp is 195 Fahrenheit. Now while those bake, in a small pot, melt together a 1/3 cup or 75 grams of salted butter, half a teaspoon or half a gram of ground Sichuan peppercorns, 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of gochugaru, and 3 tablespoons or 64 grams of honey. Melt till loosey-goosey and combined. Then once your buns are done, pull them out and brush all of your finished buns while they're still piping hot with your Sichuan honey butter. Be generous. You know, this is the holiday season. It's not really the time to be shy on butter, okay? Don't start here. Douse that with a generous layer of flaky salt and let those cool completely. Now, obviously, these are actually best if they're still warm from the oven when served. If you really want your buns to never be resisted again, I would recommend that. I know you have a deep-seated fear of your buns being rejected. Not this time. What about cream spinach? How about no? What about spinach artichoke dip? They're basically the same thing, but I feel like everyone picks spinach artichoke dip 9 times out of 10. See where I'm going? Crank your oven up to 375 Fahrenheit. Into a medium-sized pan, add 2 tablespoons of 14 grams of unsalted butter. I've been doing VO for a while, so, you know. Thank you for continuing to watch. By the way, I really appreciate you, and I love you so much. Will you please subscribe if you're not already? Once melted and hot, add 4 cloves of finely chopped garlic and saute till fragrant. Then add 4 cups or 110 grams of spinach. Cook stirring often until wilted, then remove from the pan and drain in a fine mesh strainer until you've drained as much water as you can. Finally, chop your spinach till it looks like this. Then in a medium-sized bowl, beat together half a cup or 110 grams of softened full-fat cream cheese and half a cup or 100 grams of creme fraiche. Once combined, whisk in a 1/4 cup or 21 grams of grated Parmigiano Reggiano. Season and taste with salt. Finally, fold in 1 cup or 150 grams of rough chopped artichoke hearts, your drained spinach, mix till combined, then grease a 3-quart baking pan with cooking spray, add your mixture, and spread evenly around the pan. Now separately, you're going to toss together a 1/3 cup or 35 grams of mozzarella cheese and a 1/3 cup or 33 grams of Monterey cheese. Mix till combined, then sprinkle your cheese on top of your dip and bake for 20 minutes or till melted, bubbling, and the top is crisp and brown. Now obviously you can eat this with chips, but I like to get really naughty with it and just add a nice dollop on my plate. Eat it with whatever you like. Now, everything is just about finishing up, so we can quickly move to our sides. Let's talk about this spicy garlic accordion cucumbers. I mean, come on. So you need 6 to 8 Persian cucumbers. Should have been 6 to 9, you know what I'm saying? To get them like this, you'll use 2 chopsticks to hold them in place. And first, you're gonna cut at 1/4-inch intervals with your knife facing at a 45-degree angle, so sort of like a bias. Then flip that over to the other side, and this time you're gonna cut completely straight, again at a 1/4-inch intervals. Bada bing, bada boom, look at that. Now repeat with all of your cuts. Mix together 1 tablespoon or 13 grams of sugar and 1 tablespoon or 11 grams of kosher salt. Once that's combined, season your cucumbers generously and let them cure for 5 minutes. Drain any excess water that comes from those. Then in a small separate bowl, mix together 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of soy sauce, 1.5 tablespoons or 18 grams of rice vinegar, half a teaspoon or 3 grams of yuzu juice, 2.5 tablespoons or 24 grams of chili oil with some of its solids if it has any. If it doesn't, you are using not the right chili oil. Finally, a pinch of MSG. Stir together, add to your cucumbers, toss, and look at that. Pop into a bowl and top off with chiffonade daikon or thinly sliced green onions to garnish. Oh, and some toasted sesame seeds never hurt anybody. Unless you're deathly allergic to them, which I guess it has. Next, elote holiday? You're goddamn right, brother. Small mixing bowl, 1 cup or 220 grams of Kewpie mayo, half a teaspoon or half a gram of ancho powder, half a teaspoon or half a gram of chipotle powder, a pinch of MSG, salt to taste, and 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of lemon juice. Whisk till combined. Now get yourself 4 to 6 corn on the cob, split them in half. And when you're about to serve these, you're gonna drop them into a large pot of boiling water, or you can grill them for about 3 minutes or just until they're hot. Remove and brush every single side generously with your mayo mixture. Coat completely in fresh grated Kotsuhit cheese. Stack them nicely on a plate. Sprinkle with some shimi togarashi. Hit with some hot sauce of choice. This is Valentina. Fresh cilantro all over. And I mean, come on. That looks like an elote built for year-round pleasure, which we all deserve. What about mashed potatoes, Josh? Look, make any of our mashed potato recipes, or finally switch it up for once with these papatapa bravas. Wait, these patatas bravas. What? You know what I mean. First, the brava sauce. Relax. It's ridiculously easy. In a medium sauce pot, add just enough vegetable oil to coat the bottom, heat over medium, add 1 diced sweet onion and 4 cloves of rough chopped garlic. Saute that just until softened, about 5 minutes. Then add 1.5 teaspoons or 7 grams of sugar and 1 14-ounce or 400-gram tin of crushed tomatoes. Oh, and a 1/3 cup or 78 milliliters of water and 1 tablespoon or 7 grams of sweet paprika. Stir, bring to a boil over medium-high, reduce to low, and simmer till reduced and thickened. Throw that into a blender, blend on high until as smooth as possible. Then stream in 3 tablespoons or 45 milliliters of your finest extra virgin olive oil while constantly blending. Once that's all added and emulsified, pour into a bowl, season to taste with salt, and it's simple but beautiful, much like a perfectly folded t-shirt, except you can eat this. Now for the potatoes, you'll take your baked chilled potatoes from earlier, cut them into bite-sized cubes, heat a 6-quart pot filled with 3 quarts of vegetable oil to 350 Fahrenheit, and fry your potatoes in batches for 2 to 3 minutes or till golden brown and crisp. Drain on a paper towel, season immediately to taste with salt. Please don't go light with the salt here, okay? Oh, these potatoes are so good. Starter pack. Once they're all fried, get them on a platter and add generous randomized dots of your Brava sauce all over, and optionally but highly recommended, do the exact same thing with dots of mayo. And this is the most perfect, creamy, salty, sweet, rich, crispy potato, and there's not much changing my mind on that. Now listen to me, I'm sick and tired of hearing cranberry slander. Just make a Thai chili apple jam to replace it. Yeah, for the haters. First, peel 4 pounds or 1.8 kilos of Fuji apples, core all those bad boys, and cut the flesh into 1/2-inch chunks. Pop that into a large sauce pot, and add 2 cups or 420 grams of sugar, and let that macerate for 10 minutes. Then add 3 finely chopped Thai chilies, 1/2 cup or 120 milliliters of water, and 3 tablespoons or 35 grams of yuzu juice. Mix together and bring to a boil over medium-high heat. Then once boiling, reduce the heat to medium, and let that reduce, stirring often until your apples turn a glossy translucent and the liquid has reduced to a thick syrup. Cool completely and serve in a bowl. All right, let's button this feast up. First, your Wellington. You may need a 2 to 3x recipe of my puff pastry, or you can just buy 2 to 3 boxes of frozen puff pastry. I like the brand do 4, but you know, it's up to you. Now roll one of those out until you get a large rectangle that's about 1/4 inch thick. Now unwrap a welly, place it at the base of that puff pastry. Roll it up just until the seam is about to meet with the pastry. Trim any excess dough. You want just enough for the Wellington to be rolled up. Brush that part with egg wash consisting of 2 egg yolks and 1.5 teaspoons of water. Just, you know, acting sort of as a glue. Finish rolling and press to adhere. Repeat with all of your Wellington. Trim the edges lightly, wrap in plastic wrap nice and tight to close those edges, and chill in the fridge for at least 20 minutes. Now at this point you can bake your cookies, so scoop out your chocolate chip cookie dough into 2-ounce balls, space them at least 2.5 inches apart on a baking sheet lined with parchment. You'll notice these aren't really 2.5 inches apart, and I'll tell you why that's a problem. Once you've loaded up your baking sheets with your chocolate chip cookie dough, you will bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes or until very light golden brown around the edges, and the cookies are set but slightly raw in the center. Now pull them out, and here's what happens when you don't space them out enough. Look, they're still the greatest chocolate chip cookie, but due to their high fat content, they will spread very quickly and relatively aggressively. So let those cool completely on a wire rack, even though they're kind of fucked up. Now moving on to sugar cookies. Roll those bad boys into 1-ounce balls. Roll your balls in your cinnamon sugar, the cookies that is. Pop those onto a baking sheet in rows of 3, about 2.5 inches of space between each. You should be able to handle the rows of 3 because they don't spread nearly as bad, surprisingly. Once your sheet is filled up, press them lightly with the greased flat bottom of a cup or glass until lightly flattened. Bake each tray at 350 Fahrenheit for 9 to 10 minutes or until just barely golden and set on the tray. Slightly under baking them is the key to ultra soft. Remove from the oven and cool for a few minutes on the pan, then transfer to a wire rack to cool completely. Now, let's finish off our proteins. Once the prime rib reaches an internal temp of 128, as previously mentioned, pull it out of your smoker and rest that bad boy for 15 minutes. During that time, crank your oven to the absolute maximum temperature it goes, which should be close to or at 500 Fahrenheit. Once it's ripping hot, toss your prime rib onto a sheet tray and blast at max heat for 10 minutes or until just brown nicely. Remove from the oven, reduce the temp to 475 Fahrenheit, and rest your big old meat for 25 to 30 minutes. Now, as for the Wellington, you can remove it from your fridge. Brush it immediately with your egg yolk wash. Optionally, if you have some excess dough, you can roll it out, use a lattice cutter, you know, make it look nice like that, and layer it on top of your wrapped Wellington. Totally up to you, but it looks nice. Or you can do the Gordon Ramsay scoring method by using the back of your knife to gently carve 3 to 4 nice swooshes in a row on both sides, and then one down the middle to create sort of a leaf branch or herb sprig of some sort. Gordon, I love you. If you're watching, hey, come hang out. Hit all those generously with flaky salt and pop into your oven for 20 to 25 minutes, or just until the pastry is golden brown and cooked through. Remove from the oven, rest 5 minutes, and now let's see that cross section, and oh my goodness. Such juicy, melt in your mouth short rib succulence my eyes have never seen before. Slice up your beef, serve up your veggies, plate things up beautifully, and let's taste test.
Look at all this shit. This took all day. We somehow managed to make all this in one day, except for this, because that takes like 48 hours, but we'll ignore that. I would like to try it. That is the best Wellington we have ever made. And funny enough, I thought it would be too rich. It's not. It's like the mixture of a braised short rib and the most perfectly roasted, juicy, tender beef of all time. You may never make a Wellington any other way again. Artichoke dip? Oh. If you're gonna make cream spinach, forget it. Just make the artichoke dip and call it a day. It's not that different. Tatas bravas from the cookbook, link in the description. You don't have to go this hard on elote, but if you do, you're not gonna regret it. Salty, acidic, fatty, spicy, everything you want. Not that spicy. Prime rib, smoked, smoky, rich, fatty. The reality is it's a classic prime rib. If you love prime rib, this is how you do it. I have many methods. This is one of many methods. Vikram, the Wellington, very up your alley. I think you need to try it.
This is the second time on this channel that I've just drank meat.
Drank meat?
The Italian beef and this one.
This guy sucks meat down. Next, the elote.
On the money. Where's your cart?
Where's my what?
Your elote cart.
JW's elote cart coming to a store near you. I don't want to say anything because it's going to sound Cucumber. You're doing good, City.
Very juicy. He is slurping that corn. I'm here for the
Go,
bread.
go for the center. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wait, you gotta taste it. Get back here.
This is so good.
Thank you. This is a really important story. Please listen. We had a Discord stage, which if you're not on the Discord, link's in the description. He was there. We were talking about holiday meals, and I don't know what it was. Back to back. Everyone was like, screw snickerdoodles. We were demolishing it, mostly me. And Kendrick just kind of sat there and was sad. So these are for you, Kendrick. Snickerdoodle.
We'll see if you are really the chef you say you are, Weissman. Good. There shouldn't have been any sound whatsoever.
Yeah, when the cookie has a silencer.
That's a good snickerdoodle. Melts in your mouth, buttery, almost creamy, sweet, has a lingering flavor that sits on the tongue just nice.
I'm tired of all the cranberry hate. Fine, here's something that doesn't have cranberry in it. If you need a little bit of sweetness to cut the richness, this is the answer. It's appley, it's caramelized, a little spicy. Fits on your plate much better than cranberry sauce if you're a little hater. That's it, my ideal holiday feast is here for you. You've asked for it for years. And so now that you've seen this, this is what it looks like with the light off. B-roll.